You haven't quit your bad habits because you haven't accepted the fact that your bad habits help you. Let me explain. So before we combat our addictions, let's first understand how needs work. This is a basic concept. Now, first of all, I've put a few needs on the board. Now, needs are things you have to fulfill. Now, there's things, for example, you have to sleep, you have to have nutrition, you have to be hydrated. But there's also psychological needs, like, for example, the need of connection, love, security, adventure, touch, challenge. You need these because your psychological being or self needs it. Okay, that's the point. Now you can fulfill, say, the need of connection with, for example, having conversations with people, meaningful, real conversations. But a bad habit for that would be, for example, PMO. I think we all know what PMO is. I can't really say the real name on here. You get the point, okay? Now you can fulfill something with that. Again, you can also do also can have the need of activity. You can fulfill that by doing things, having hobbies, but you can also game. That's the point. You can do a certain thing to replace or not to fulfill that need, but it might be really bad. More into that why is bad later. Now, you might have the need of purpose, and then you might scroll because you're not actually doing something. If you find your purpose and you do something to work toward your purpose, you would not have this need this habit, because you would be replacing the habit of scrolling with something different, a good habit. Just to, illustrate this further, say you have the need of challenge. Now, instead of really challenging yourself, doing things, going to tournaments, trying to get better at school, whatever you're doing, it doesn't really even matter. You could also just gamble. I tried to do a slot machine. Anyways, what you could instead do is say, as I said, tournament. Now, usually you don't even see this. You only see the slot machine or whatever you're doing, some kind of online casino. Hypothetically, Now, say you were doing that again and again. The real reason why you're doing it, you have to first find that. Is it because I don't have a purpose? Is it because I need the challenge because it's fun doing it, and then having it and seeing, oh, maybe I might do it, maybe it might happen. You have to really understand why you're doing it. That's, for example, if you watch PMO. You might be trying to fulfill the need of connection because you're terrified of actually going out there and trying to connect with people, especially those that you are attracted to. Now, say we are trying to do the challenge. The reason would be you need a challenge, literally. I'm sorry, I really can't write like this. Just, you get the point, okay? Okay, stop. Anyways, onto that. Just to really finish this, say this is Jim. Now, Jim has certain needs. He has the need of sleep, let's say Jim is a machine, okay? Jim needs certain things. He needs electricity from both different electricity. I know in real life it's not like that, but let's say he needs different types of electricity or different fluids to power him. There needed different fluids to power him. Now, he could have the need of love. He could just do that by, for example, involving himself in a relationship or something. But he could also just do that by, with the bad habit, doing it with PMO. He's replacing the whole work of having a relationship, talking to someone, also to a certain degree having the luck, with just watching PMO, or just doing PMO. And the same is, for example, with, security. If he wants security, he could just try to work towards his goals, try to secure himself, work. He could just do whatever. He could basically make himself secure. This is a computer, okay? Now he could also just do that by doing the unhealthy habit of alcohol. And that's basically the idea you have to have. There are different needs. You have to supply basically your body with the habits to fulfill your needs. For example, you have to sleep. Sleeping is technically also a habit, Now, on to why bad habits are so dangerous. Now we have to understand why our bad habits are actually that dangerous. Now, first of all, this is the baseline of your dopamine. It's basically it fluctuates a bit, but that's the normal-ish, Now, dopamine, it changes sometimes. Dopamine is the molecule of anticipation of, hey, let's do that again. That's good. Hey, look. Hey, that cookie's good. That cookie's good. That cookie's good. That cookie is good. Take it. That's basically what it does. It's a salesman. Hey, take that. Now, what a normal good thing does, it first, like a normal habit, it has some fluctuations, then it goes a slight bit deep, then it goes up, returns to baseline. What bad habits do, by the way, I'm not a neurologist, don't take this as perfect advice. The following happens. You first go sky high. You feel good, you feel great. And this time, by the way, it can be 6 seconds, it can be an hour, It goes sky high, and then it just crashes. It crashes so deep, and it will go to baseline, not just that, but it will sometimes even go under. And that is really uncomfortable, really uncomfortable, really, really damn uncomfortable. So you either have to wait, until it returns to baseline, and then quit, best. But let's be honest, we don't do that, because this is really painful. So what it does, you do the addiction again. So you do the addiction here, or bad habit. You do the addiction here again, skyrocket high, forward. And look how this is lower. That happens in real life too. It might be just a slight fluctuation, like just at this point, we'll go this high. But eventually we'll go this high. And then it will go this high, and this high, this high, this high, this high, this high, this high. Until it basically has no effect. And when you stop, you start here. Here. That's why it's so hard to quit. Because you feel like absolute, excuse my French, shit. It feels like absolute shit. And that's why it's so painful to get back up. And then you have to resist the urge to go at any point in this time of recovery to go back up. You have to resist that. You have to keep down and do good habits that maybe go down a bit, but go up slowly. And that fast hit, first of all, it damages your dopamine, or your dopamine receptors, which in turn means, say you have something normal, I have to make a new axis. Say, before the addiction, this was kind of your normal hobby. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up here. Say, golfing, I don't know. But the point is that that will not be strong, because you can only really get it back when you do the addiction. And so pretty much everyday life will be an absolute pain. And you have to realize that. Your life will not feel good if you keep getting addicted. And even if it doesn't affect you now, it will get worse. The more you do the bad habit or the addiction, it will get worse at some point. Believe me, if you don't quit. But now, let's stop being pessimistic and finally try to get back up. Now, how do we actually quit our good habit or our addiction? Now, I have thought of a few solutions that you might think of. Number one, criticize yourself. It's idiocracy. Don't do it. It doesn't. If you always criticize yourself, it won't work. Just as Carl Jung once said, condemnation does not liberate. It oppresses. Sorry, new knowledge, I had to steal it, but Carl Jung is just perfect. Carl Jung is like a philosopher of from a German philosopher from around more than 100 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Now, criticizing yourself does not matter, and it does not do anything. Don't do it. So this doesn't work. Solution 2. I quote, fuck it. Don't do it. Solution 3. Quit now. It might work, but remember we talked about the needs. If you just throw it out of the window, your body will be unsatisfied, because there's a need missing. So it can technically work, but it doesn't really make sense, because it won't fully work. You'll just find something else, which is what's Solution 4, the real solution. Build a life that you don't want to escape from. Now, let me explain what that actually means. What we have to do, replace the bad habit for a good habit. So, find whatever you're doing. whatever it is. Say it's, I don't know, for example, alcohol. You want to have some kind of connection or, say, community because you drink. You are actually happy when you're drinking. You're not anxious when you're drinking. Replace your drinking with, I don't know, doing creative things, doing things you like, talking to people about things, or entirely scrap that. Just start making, like me, YouTube videos. I didn't drink, but why not? Just do it. You just have to find something that takes your anxiety in this case. So it could be also just doing sport, for example, or just fulfill your needs and you will create a life you don't want to escape from. But at some point, you just have to do this. Tell the good habit to kill the bad habit. What you're doing here, what I've shittily shown, try to draw, is replace the bad habit for a good one. Good luck. Stay curious, playful, and dangerous, and don't be scared to make a fool trying to do this, because better you die trying than living knowing you never tried. Good luck.